Something.
Welcome to each and every one of our Merry Marvelites. I am Christian Bladt. Mid-sentence, as we were starting, the one and only Michael Shirley. Do you want to share with the rest of the class, Michael?
Oh, it was just saying here on this StreamYard that our Facebook's gonna.
Yeah, we'll have to manage that. We'll have to manage that off air, as it were. And as we continue clockwise, Eric Connor, Count Eric Connor. Welcome, sir.
1, 2, wonderful to see you.
And Jeff Williams, with a much cleaner Captain America shield behind him.
Yes,
still standing.
Drano gets the blood off.
We will get to talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4 in a little bit. The episode was called, I believe, The Whole World is Watching, but when it ended, I thought it should have been called Johnny Walker Red. But beyond that, we will get to another point where we talk more about the episode, and we start with the happiest place on earth, or really the place across the street from it. Not Disneyland, but Disney's California Adventure, where we now know that the Avengers campus will be opening on June 4th. And that's a very narrow window for those of us that live here in Southern California. That if you believe what you read, whole state's going to open up on June 15th. So if you want to get in on Disneyland when the crowds are reduced in any way, you got like 10 days to get to the Avengers campus. And I hope you guys had a chance to look it over. And I want to talk a little bit about what we see there. But just to start, I wanted to know, Michael, you had sent me a story about this. What are your thoughts when you see what it offers there? And I'm going to share with our audience in a moment.
Oh, I'm just so excited for it. I've been waiting for this for years. Like, I'm not a big theme park person. Surprise, surprise. But
yeah, I think we're all pretty surprised to hear that. It seems like it seems like a theme park would really be right up your alley.
Yeah, but I am totally amped for this. This is like Avengers West Coast. It's happening.
Yes, exactly. The ex-wackos, as I wrote about, for people that really pay attention on the show. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. And we'll take a look at some of the offerings in a moment. Jeff, I feel like you probably already pulled any strings you can, and you're as close as you can to already having tickets for the unveiling.
Look, you're not wrong. I've talked to my boss. I've talked to a couple coworkers. I was like, what kind of strings can BuzzFeed pull? So I am trying to get there as soon as possible. But I'm more like Michael. I'm not really a huge amusement park person. Like, I don't really do the roller coasters. But when I saw the video, when I knew that they were doing Avengers Campus, I knew I would at least go. So I'm there 100%. You hopefully before the crowds, but at least before June 15th.
Right, exactly. And what are your thoughts as you take a look at as we're about to take a look, Eric, and share with people what we can see here?
Well, I really just hope Jeff's into burly bearded Jews, because then I would.
I mean, every indication. First of all, who's not? Second of all, every
I have a very long list I could send you.
And all the time that I've known Jeff, I feel like the clear thing is that's definitely his type.
Why does he need that? Like, why is that something he needs to be down with?
Well, because
I want to be his plus. Well, I want to be his arm candy.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like there was a big like all the
what
Jews
Jeff's
were
willing
really,
to do to get his
really
ticket.
excited.
I like that idea even more.
Yeah. So we're taking a look. Some of the stuff they have there. They've got a Sanctum Sanctorum, and there's and. So the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's actually already there. That used to be the Tower of Terror. And I'm going to be honest, that is not rebranding that works very well. It was much better as the Tower of Terror. But I do like getting to interact with those characters. We're just seeing a little bit on a loop. This is from the Disney Parks Twitter account, some of the things that we get to have here, But
this video gives me major like Bachelor vibes. If you like watch the intro or something, it's like when you like slowly zoom in and then like pan down and everything. Like this right here, this one, and then the next one. It's like the dark lighting and everything. I was like, okay, are we on The Bachelor? Like The Bachelor's about to walk in, pan in. Like, this is the first scene or something.
Well,
celebrity boot camp.
We just need a girl named Brittany.
Jeff and Eric, your date for the evening will be at the Sanctum Sanctorum. Let's take a look and see what's happening. Yeah, look, I'm very excited. My wife and I were actually talking, before this got unveiled, and we just were like, just the idea of going to Disneyland before all the crowds are allowed back in. It's that's exciting. But then it's like, but they won't have Marvel yet because it opens I think at the end of the month, April 30th. And now it's like, it's not like the tickets are going to be discounted in any way. There's probably an extra cleaning surcharge or something. Oh, yeah. So now it's like, I can't try and go right away, but man, I want to go to that Adventures Campus. I mean, this would be the first time where I'm like, I would much rather go to California Adventure, than Disneyland proper. And just to see any of this, and I'm not going to lie, a lot of this is for merch. Just the in-park merchandise that I'll be able to buy. And, Michael, I'll FaceTime with you and just find out what should I be buying and, what theme park variants are going to go up on the wall there and all that.
Such a sucker for merch. Like before the concert even starts, I'm like, I got to get to this merch stand so everything doesn't sell out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of merch, I'm going to share. My sister-in-law got me the Marvel Loot Crate for Christmas, and I haven't worn this yet. But it's a Yancey Street Bar and Grill, the little cartoon Ben Grimm on there, and I've got some Ben Grimm like I don't know, like knee socks that go with it, and I'm like, I don't quite know when I'm going to wear those.
Please tell me you're wearing those right now.
I wish, I might wear them as puppets. I'll work on my my Ben Grimm impression, which is basically going to be my Michael Chiklis impression. But in any case, yeah. So I mean, look, it's exciting. It makes sense that the pandemic in no way slowed down the construction. It probably made it easier to not have the theme park open. And they're like, let's get as much dust up in the air as we need. So I thought that maybe this wasn't going to open for like another year because I remember on the old Marvel Movie News show on Popcorn Talk, we talked about it, and this is around when we thought it was going to open even back then. So I don't know. I'm excited, and Kame Egan is saying that looks pretty cool. Michael B is asking, is this Disneyland or Disney World? This is Disneyland, Disney's California Adventure. I am sure there are plans that are comparable for Disney World, but I don't really know how the licensing breaks down because at Universal Orlando, there were a lot of Marvel themed rides. I mean, I was there 20 years ago. They had a Spider-Man ride and a Hulk ride. And obviously this is before Disney owned Marvel, but at some point those deals have to expire, and we'll get Spidey over there at Disney World as well. But I don't know, it's all very exciting, and I feel like I would probably, just to sort of reinforce what I said earlier, I would wait in longer lines to buy merchandise than I would for the rides themselves.
Yes.
I definitely want to get a picture in all of these things. If Doctor Strange is there, I'll talk to him. But I don't like the characters that don't have masks at Disneyland because they a lot of them are great, I'm sure, but they look too off-brand. Yeah, they're
you're not a princess.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, kid? Of course I'm a princess.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Yeah, they all sound like the baby from Roger Rabbit, But yeah, and it's just like, oh, Mulan, I'm so glad that you took a groundlings class and you feel like you can improv in this moment, but let's just say you have to go, you've got a battle to fight or something, let's not do that. But very exciting, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about. And if Jeff does go before all of us, because he's more important than any of us, then I hope he takes lots of pictures. But Michael, you're actually not allowed to go because you have to live in California to go to Disneyland right now. So, and I'm sure there is no way around that. There's no way to that. I don't know. I could buy a ticket and then bring you with me. Like,
is that actually true?
It's true, but they don't like check your
traveling.
Yeah.
But they don't check your IDs when you get
there.
there.
There's a million ways around that.
Yeah, but the main way that what they do is your billing address when you pay with a credit card needs to be in California. That's as deep as it goes, though. So if you want to start a resale business, that's not going to be a problem.
I'm gonna wear my vaccination card as a T-shirt.
You're not supposed to be showing that to people.
People are saying that, and I'm like, it doesn't have your social security number on there.
No one steal my identification so they can.
By the way, Eric, it looked like yours was crossed out. What happens? Did you write it?
Well, it was first Kirkland brand.
Stop it.
And then I got Costco's higher end Kirkland. So
the Kirkland signature vaccine is what you got.
Yeah.
I thought that you wrote super soldier serum on there, and then you're like, oh wait,
and it got me so angry. My God, I got so mad.
They broke so many of them that you weren't able to get yours anymore, and I saw on social media Michael has gotten his super soldier serum as well, so he's ready. So really, I mean, I think that AfterBuzz TV
show out there.
Yeah, AfterBuzz TV doesn't need to reopen, but we can all just go into the studio and do the show from there because we're fine. Everybody else will be fine in no time. All right, so before we talk about the episode itself, I did want to bring to the attention something that I thought was fun. It is the definition of a trifle. It is completely unnecessary, but there were a lot of people that were making the point that the Snyder Cut took a very long time to be released, but within less than a week, we all got the Zemo Cut, which is literally an hour of Baron Zemo dancing from episode 3 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's like a glorified commercial for it. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched the whole thing.
It's the same 20-second clip loop.
It's about 20 seconds. But
they're making so much money from this on YouTube that they're just laughing because one trend, they're like, you know what? We're going to just loop this thing. And then have commercial breaks because after so many minutes, that is ridiculous.
By the way, imagine if this was your song that is being used here, like this loop.
Oh my God, you're making tons of money.
Right? All for the sake of a joke, although I'm going to bet that Disney probably just had them sign like a one-time release. And they probably don't get paid, because they're not in the business of just giving stuff away. Anyway, I wanted to make sure everybody knew about that. What do you think, Michael? Is that just what it sounds like in your house all day anyway? That kind of music?
I'm working my way there. I got to get something about this paneling first.
Fair, yeah.
When I saw it, because you prefaced it with you don't have to watch the whole thing. And I was like, well, why would I watch the whole thing? It's only 20 seconds long. I don't know. I didn't get it. I was like, is this funny? That happens sometimes with me. I just didn't really understand.
Yeah. Most of the time when you and I talk, I say something and you say, I don't get it. Is this funny? And I'm like, well, I thought it was, but it's actually not. So, I don't know. Look, it is just a fun, silly thing. And yes, it's only 20 seconds. I didn't think anybody was actually going to watch it. And let's see. Kemi Egan said, I thought this is freaking hilarious. It seems like it was from an 80s men's cologne commercial. It is. It's actually very reminiscent. From the 70s, there's a Saturday Night Live fake commercial with Gilda Radner for a perfume called Hey You, and now that you say it, it makes me realize that it looks like that. Michael B, it looks like he had a longer dance scene, and they cut it to the fist bump. I mean, the fist bump kind of sells it. Jeff, what did you think that when you saw that they actually took the time to cut together an hour of Baron Zemo dancing?
No, I thought it was great. I loved it when I originally saw it. I thought it just adds to his character, and then the social strategy. I think it adds to his character in the fun in the way that like it gives him levity and like light.
Yeah.
Because
I
like,
mean,
we all know he's a supervillain, but like he's also a rich person that is kind of corny that is just gonna be okay with just dancing in the club. Like that's what I meant by adds to his character.
Yeah.
It just adds the funniness to it.
This series has added to his character in a lot of ways, but one is that I mean, you can kind of laugh at him a lot more, laugh with him even.
Mhm.
Eric, obviously you already knew that song. I believe that was your wedding song. But
It was the song I came out to during my bar mitzvah, actually.
Okay,
and my entrance was an hour. My only complaint of this video was it was 2 hours too short.
Fair.
I needed another good 2 hours of Zemo, and I'll tell you, I think this episode for me, by the way, made me really get into the comedy of Zemo. Like I think like something switched in my head when I watched this one. I'm like, all right. When I said he wasn't Joe Pesci, I changed my mind. He is Joe Pesci.
He's officially Joe Pesci. By the way, coming in the chat with a hot take. We talked a lot about the Power Broker. There are many people that are not just the four of us. There are people out there that are wondering if Sharon Carter's the Power Broker. But Craig says, early prediction, the Power Broker is revealed as Howard the Duck. That would explain why the Howard the Duck Hulu series got canceled. Which I believe it was a writer's room that was run by Kevin Smith of Clerks and Mallrats fame, which I'm sure he loves if you put Mallrats second on his resume, but that's the second movie he made. So I hope we only got 2 more weeks. That's the craziest thing about the show was that, we're pretty much done. I almost wonder if it's going to be like a Sopranos season where next week everything happens and then the finale is kind of the after effects, and eventually, Sam's going to get his shield and fly away, and the next time we see him, we'll have to spend $20 to either sit in a movie theater seat or $30 to watch it on Disney Plus Premier Access. But I actually found the first half of this episode to be a little light. Once the fighting started, I was all in, but I was just like, oh, these kind of feel like, when you watch the deleted scenes from a movie that was, I don't know, like 3 hours.
The stuff you didn't need. Yeah,
it's kind of like the Snyder cut of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, I mean, this all expands the story, but do I need all of this, But I thought we saw some interesting things. But Eric, let's start with your overall feel on episode 4, which, just in case we have some people joining us, I'll recycle my joke one more time. The episode that should have been called Johnny Walker Red, and I may very well say that again before we're done.
I think you nailed it more the first time. I gotta say, this time you kind of phoned it in.
This was a little bit of
it's a great.
This is a little bit of a throwaway. This one, I'm conceding that I've already said it.
The heart wasn't in it. Honestly, this was my favorite episode, and I felt so much click, so much gelled, and you mock me all you want, Shirley. But I thought like this was one where I totally agree, Christian, and I love the comparison that this is just deleted scenes from I always love when they would release director's cuts that were not director's cuts, but rather just a chance to make the movie a little longer so more people will buy it again or rent it again back in the day, which is why I hated Forgetting Sarah Marshall, because I saw the director's cut, which was an extra 20 minutes of unfunny material that was cut for a reason. So once we got past the early scenes, though, the moments where it was just Sam and I was going to call her Carly, but that's not her name, the Flag Smasher.
Mm-hmm. No, iCarly.
iCarly. Right. Sam and iCarly. I thought like those moments finally, I felt like the themes kind of, I could feel the themes more in ways I hadn't in previous, where I felt like they were trying to go for themes, kind of missing the mark, too broad, too subtle. And then it felt like this one, I was liking the conversation. I really was kind of fascinated by their exchange. I was not bored. I was kind of cool to be hanging out with them for a couple minutes, as it was this like interesting, almost like Magneto, Xavier kind of moral debate, which I didn't think the show would go there necessarily, but it went there and it worked. So no, I thought this episode was great, and I don't care what y'all say. Kiss my ass.
No, look, I think that I actually like that conversation. That was right when the episode started to pick up for me.
Yeah.
And
that back half is awesome of it.
Yeah, and then of course Walker comes in and just ruins everything. But we'll spend plenty of time on that. So, Michael, this was not your favorite episode of the series?
No, it was. Oh no.
Now I like.
I don't even know. I don't know why we even needed a lot of it. I mean, I think there should have been. It should have been cut differently. It was just too slow until the end for me.
Yeah, it's it is a little reminiscent. So the fact that there's almost 6 hours of show, sometimes you're like, oh, well, did they have to pad it out a little bit? It's like when NBC started supersizing their comedies. This is sort of what you were talking about, Eric.
Yeah.
It's like they were 10 minutes longer, but all they did is that they weren't as tight as they usually were. And there were jokes that probably would have been cut out. And it's just like, ooh, this breathes a little too much, you know? It's
I will say I was really excited that my prediction came true. Not that I wanted it to come true, but I knew that because he was not in the leading credits, Battlestar was.
Well, that's an interesting question because our pal Ghost 8386 says R.I.P. Battlestar. Here's my thought on Battlestar, and I'll find out what you think, Jeff. There was a cutaway back to him late in the episode when nobody was in the room with him anymore. I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's doing well, but I don't think he's dead because they showed him to us again. And when he first hit the wall, I thought he got impaled on something, Green Goblin style. Spoiler alert for 1972. But I thought that he got impaled on something. But then I'm like, oh no, they made a point that we can see that and maybe, just maybe, John Walker is not somebody who's calm and competent enough to figure out for sure somebody's dead before he flies off the handle. What did you think of the episode, Jeff? And do you think that Lamar, aka Battlestar, has passed on?
Well, first, I just want to say I love your theory because I was so annoyed that he died yesterday or last night. I watched it twice already, and it's just like. I just thought it was so worthless. I was like, because I'll kind of get into it. I feel like their whole transition and story arc for U.S. Agent is slow, unnecessary, and they kind of just used Battlestar as like a kind of, okay, he's crazy now. It's like, well, he's kind of been crazy the whole time. Bucky said he's been crazy. Like they didn't need some of the stuff to like get him over the edge. So I just have a kind of problem with his story arc, but with this episode, I'm in the middle with Michael and Eric. The beginning was slow, but I love the Dora Milaje part. I love like the whole second half. I love when seeing Falcon, like when he was literally coming into the building and you saw his wing like kind of adjust to being inside and then like also attack people. It was just the action was just great. I mean, just point blank. And to see the Dora Milaje literally grab the shield and like, homie, we made this. Like this, like you're brand new to this, as in like the new Captain America, and they're like, we just give it back. I love that part. I want to see more of the Dora Milaje, and I can't wait to see that in Black Panther, the television show, the movie, and everything. But just as a whole, like you guys said, it was very slow at the beginning. A lot of deleted scenes. I do love the Carly scene. But like the action in the Carly scenes, that's it. That's all I need.
The whole thing is there's a deleted scene from Pulp Fiction where Uma Thurman walks around with a handheld camera and talks to John Travolta's character, and you're like, well, I've already seen the movie, so this is fun, but the movie's already long enough, so no, we don't need it. So yeah, I want to. We need to reverse Snyder cut this series and maybe do like a 3-hour cut of all 6 episodes and just get us to the good stuff. As much as I'd love to revisit the bank manager in the first episode, there's probably better ways to spend our time. I don't know. I mean, I'm the only one that thinks that Lamar's not dead, right? Because Michael, I guess you had him in the death pool. You expected that he was.
I think he's dead, and I think that this is just the U.S. agent.
Yeah, I think it makes him flying off the handle even better if Lamar actually is not dead. You know,
and what he said about the serum, he was like, I'd definitely take it.
Yeah.
I think that once he's dead, or now that he's dead, he's going to take the serum like for him almost.
He already did, though.
Well, John already took it.
Has he taken it?
Yeah, because we didn't see him take it, but one of the guys he's fighting with sees him bend something, and that's when he's like, "Oh shit!" Because he knew that he took it. At that point.
Okay,
yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah, he was bending the metal and then kicked someone like down the stairs. Sam said something's different, or like, "What did you do?" He said, "What did you do?" And that's that's the inkling, like, "Oh, he already took the serum." And then
I
like
was
when
waking back up at that point in the episode.
Yeah.
And then he's like, throws the shit at the wall.
2 a.m, Michael.
I was gonna say I've seen it twice, so I had to look at.
I'll admit, Michael, I actually I went on right around midnight to watch it, and I fell asleep for about 20 minutes in the middle, and saw the end, and I was totally bewildered. I'm like, what I miss? Wait, why is he killing this guy?
That happened to me in the
and
movie
then I watched
Dancer in the Dark. I don't know if any of you have seen the Bjork film Dancer in the Dark.
Yeah.
But to fall asleep after 30 minutes of the movie and waking up at the very last scene is very, very jarring.
Well, no wonder it's your favorite episode, Eric. You fell asleep for 20 minutes of it. Now it would be my favorite episode too if it was only
20 minutes. No, but I saw the beginning, and then just him, bludgeoning the guy to death. I'm like, whoa, that was a real sharp turn. And then I looked and realized
our pal Michael B disagrees with me. Dude, he's dead. I knew he was going to die when he walked into the scene in episode 2. That's where Michael's at too. Was like, I'm
all about the credits. I was like, they got to kill him.
When he said his name was Battlestar, that was it.
Superhero. He's one of the superheroes. Those are really important roles, and for you not to be in the main cast.
Yeah. No, they're I mean, that character in the comics, his name was Battlestar. When he was introduced, they actually had him as the new Bucky. And then at some point, somebody brought to their attention that I guess that's some kind of a slur regionally that people didn't, the guys in New York who draw and write Marvel comics had no idea.
Yeah.
So they changed his name to Battlestar. And I was like, that's great that you got rid of the name, but really Battlestar, they
really liked his character in this show.
I thought, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's more deserving of being Captain America, Lamar. I mean, I think that he's definitely even keeled. He's level headed. He talks John down a lot. And not having him, even if say he is alive and he walks around with like the Tiny Tim cane the rest of the series, he's not going to be. I'm glad that Eric liked that.
I have the visual of him with this an incredibly small cane, much smaller than a man his size would use.
Yeah. Yeah, and Thanos has seen a future where Lamar's cane is in the corner, but there's no one to hold it. So it's very sad, actually. Anyway, Lamar, R.I.P. if you're no longer with us, but I'm holding out hope for you, and that we'll get to see more. Go ahead, Eric.
Did you guys notice? Does Walker? Did he have a wedding ring? Was I imagining that?
I didn't see that, but
remember, I sometimes see things. If you remember the Atari logo,
it's realistic because in the first episode, like he had a female talk to him right before Battlestar, so it could be his girlfriend or wife.
Yeah, I mean, he could certainly be married. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think
it was a mistake, and he left it on when he was filming. Like, forgot to take it off.
I mean, there was someone there. I just don't know what role she played.
No, she was either his girlfriend or his wife. I mean, 100% remember that. But
to me, I thought it was like a high school girlfriend.
Well, yeah, I think that's what it is that it's probably a girl that knew in high school. And then, when he got into the service, they probably stayed together and he either married her or didn't, But I think that's still his girlfriend. I feel like that's a character that might have to come back and help talk him down at some point, especially if Battlestar is not going to be able to do it.
I think it's too late into this for all that.
Yeah, right. I mean, remember the woman from one scene?
The first scene.
Yeah.
Well, there's also just a theory that somebody's going to need to identify his body at the end. You know,
What?
so maybe that's
Bruh.
he is not making it out of this series.
Oh yeah, he is.
All
The
right,
US agent?
put money where your mouths are, gents. Let's
Okay.
come on, let's get some
Hey,
skin in the game.
Agatha made it out of
Oh my
WandaVision.
god, I'm
U.S.
hate that.
agent is for sure making it out of this series. 100%.
Get some
Put me
skin in the
down
game.
for he's making it out.
All right.
I hate all these gambling commercials. There's tons of them in Tennessee, and they always say, "Get some skin in the game."
I've got
Do you guys
I've got
have
skin
those
in
in
the game.
California?
All right,
They're
so
everywhere.
Lamar alive, John dead. All right, that's how this series is going to end. That's
We
where,
need a Deadpool.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
The animated series or just the regular one?
No, the regular one that's coming.
Oh.
They're apparently not going to use Donald Glover's animated
No,
scripts.
we need to have a Deadpool.
For
Like a
who's going to die
pool.
at the end of the
Yes.
series. All right.
Yeah.
Does anybody want action
I
on
like the
Sharon
over-under,
Carter?
too.
Anybody have action on Sharon Carter? Anybody
Not
want
the
Sharon
Power
Carter?
Brokers.
No
You're not
one
gonna
wants
No,
Sharon
she'll survive
Carter.
this.
No, does anybody want her dead?
Oh,
What?
I mean,
Michael
yes.
does. That's what I'm
She's
saying.
already
no.
dead.
One thing in
Thematically, she's already dead.
She's already
dead
dead
inside.
on the
Sorry, Jeff,
inside.
what were you saying?
I said wanting someone dead and betting someone's gonna die. So
No,
totally
we're not
different
talking.
things.
That's true. When
So,
I was once in a Deadpool, I wish none of them dead, and then I felt horrible when one or two of them died, and a little part of me was happy. I hated that feeling, so I never did it again. I blame you, Evil Knievel. You're the reason I lost.
But now that you say that, Jeff, can you imagine a U.S. agent in Deadpool? That'd be fun.
that would be fun. That would be
Yeah,
fun. He would mess with U.S. agents so much, and that'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
that's definitely true. All right, so let's. There's some other good stuff in the episode, but since we're talking so much about John, let's talk about sort of the. We saw it in earlier episodes, but they really kind of laid it on thick in this one where he just realizes like, oh yeah, you got your ass kicked. And yes, they are some of the toughest fighters in the world, but you think it wasn't lost on him that he got beat up by a few girls. I don't think that sat well with him. I think that if there was ever any moment that this guy's like, I am getting some of that super soldier serum, it was that, because it's not like they beat him. I mean, they humiliated him.
He was humbled.
They could have killed him without breaking a sweat. What do you think, Jeff?
I still don't even like agree. I mean, not. I see what you're saying, but like Sam literally said, don't mess with these ladies. They're worse than Bucky with the super serum or like the serum. Like this is just my whole argument with him. It's like, I felt like he could have went crazy last episode and I would have believed it.
Yeah.
I feel like some of this stuff, but like I'm glad we had to fight because the Dora Milaje, they kicked everyone's ass. Like Sam Wilson, Bucky, like everybody. And not to like jump too far, but like him like pressing the shoulder and then Falcon,
death punch. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is she doing? And then his arm just drops. I'm like, holy crap.
That was pretty bad.
I love the question. Did you know they could do that? No, obviously I didn't know they could do that.
That was amazing.
But by the way,
it's easy to get back on. It feels like if I set up something where, let's say I gave Jeff that metallic arm he always wanted, and but I have a back door in there because I'm worried Jeff's going to use it on me. I'm also going to make it very difficult to then get the arm back on. That
True.
seems like it's like, well, that's kind of like against its own purpose. If I'm trying to disassemble him quickly, I don't want him to reassemble in the middle of the fight.
They're too worried about him, honestly.
I want him to go get an Allen wrench.
My son has Velcro shoes that are harder to get back on than Bucky's arm. And by my son, I mean me. But
reboot.
But so look, I think as just annoying and unlikable a character as he is, I think that they did a great job in sort of building from the first time we see him all the way up until like, well, obviously he's going to take that serum, the one stray vial that nobody knows is there. And of course he can't handle it. They make the point that, it's really like just Steve Rogers is the only person who was able to take this serum and not really go off the deep end, at least for a time. And just the brutality of just, using the shield in a way it shouldn't be. And, I think there's that moment where he sees all the civilians that are, of course, taking videos of this. Because if you got Captain America just, bludgeoning somebody in like a fountain, you're like, well, I'm obviously going to film it. I'm not going to run away, And Craig Robinson, do we think there'll be any government reprisal for John Walker's actions where they try to take the shield and he goes ape? Oh, Craig, that is, or do they just sweep it under the rug because he's dealing with their flag smasher problem? No, there will be a reckoning for this at some point because
the whole world's watching.
The whole world is watching, and I don't know that there's a crisis management team that can handle that video. This isn't TMZ catching you drunk outside of a nightclub with someone who's clearly not your wife. This is pretty hard to just shrug off, and I think that it as jarring and shocking as it was, I think it's completely within character for one, how John Walker was established in the comics when they first try to have him replace Steve Rogers, but just the way that they've told his story on the screen. What did you think, Michael, just sort of watching John really lose it like that?
I was a little surprised for Disney that it was like that. I mean, obviously you'd think the guy's head probably came off, but they didn't show it like that. I felt like it was really, I wasn't quite expecting that. Because I guess I didn't realize he had taken the serum and that he was being super crazy. Yeah. But I wasn't really expecting that. But when it happened, I was like, oh, good. I'm tired of seeing him as Captain America. I want to see him doing his own thing.
Yeah, but I don't think you come back from that. I don't think you get to, you get the shield taken away and they spray paint your costume black and you become U.S. agent. Like I don't think there's any coming back for him. And somebody in the chat had a great theory as to why I would. I'm sorry, I can't give credit to who it is because I couldn't find it, but. Zemo, now that Walker has taken the serum, Zemo has every reason to personally want to kill John Walker. So if anybody kills him, it could be this is a very specific mid-'80s Captain America comic book reference, but somebody to scourge him with a little justice is served and just leave him, just sitting there in a street corner. So I'm going to stand by that. Now I like the theory that Zemo is just going to kill him because for no reason other than the fact that he's got the super soldier serum. But we shall see. What did you think, Jeff, to sort of this arc that we've gotten for John Walker so far through these? Well, I guess he wasn't in the first episode, but these past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier. I kind of think that they extended it for a little bit too long for my liking. Like, I knew he was kind of crazy. They gave us a little inkling. And then this episode, they did so much to like say, he's crazy. Bucky said he's crazy. He started like twitching when he was throwing stuff at people. I mean, I'm glad that we're finally here, and I'm interested to see what's next for U.S. Agent. But like, for me, I didn't like the totality of his arc. I felt like I said earlier, Battlestar, if he's dead, I felt like it was kind of, it didn't hit as hard because I felt like it would have hit harder. It would have been a more drastic move if I cared for the U.S. agent and Johnny Walker. I didn't care for him. I already thought he was bad. So him losing his friend is like, okay, a bad guy lost his friend. He's still going to be more bad. It never seemed like that was like, okay, I went from teetering if I'm good or bad to all the way bad for me. It just seemed like he was just waiting for a reason.
Yeah, no, I think that, he was most of the way on the side of the fence of, basically being a bad guy. You're like a well-intentioned, decorated war hero, but it doesn't take much to kind of push you, into the tactics that are too much. Look, it's all it takes to go from decorated military hero to becoming a vigilante is to watch her family be gunned down in Central Park, as happened to Frank Castle. So, it doesn't take much. So the idea that he's got this crazy version, this knockoff version of the serum. I mean, he's got the Hydrox version of the super soldier serum in there running around, the RC Cola of the super soldier serum. And he's not handling it well. And then this happens. So yeah, I mean, I think it all makes sense. Eric, just from a character development standpoint, I think it's spot on. And they did a great job casting somebody with such an unlikable face. That was really well highlighted in this episode.
As I watch it, I'm like, it's the jaw. It's very hard with that jaw to wear that thing. As someone who has no jaw, I really focus heavily on that. Character development, Jeff, it's a great point. Like if they turn down the a-hole of him a little bit, if he didn't snap early, I mean, pretty early on, right? He snaps at Sam and says, "Stay out of my way." Like if you sort of sanded the edges of those moments, I agree. I think like the cork coming out of the bottle would have had more impact when his buddy died. And I agree. I think Lamar's a really interesting character, actually. Like at first I'm like, who is this fool? And then as it went on, I'm like, no, he's interesting. And it's well played. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but he's good. And if he's not in this one, and I don't think he's coming back. And I'll put some money on that end. And
just a quick aside, Kemi Egan, John Walker looks like Popeye in the helmet.
That's perfect, right?
Yeah, specifically, he looks like Robin Williams as Popeye in the live action Popeye.
I like that. It makes him look like he's not quite trustworthy.
Right.
I don't know the way he looks in that.
Yeah. The first time we saw him, and then I'm like, it doesn't fit.
I like it
really well.
with his personality. It's just kind of like forcing him to smile.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it looks like an ill-fitting costume, which is perfect dramatically for the character. If I was going to circle back, Michael brought up something really interesting too, which was like, you surprised that Disney would do that. And I agree. And it's funny, even we didn't talk about this before, but during one of their recaps, they actually had the word shit in the recap.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that was in there.
Funny of all the dialogue to put in the recap, it's shit.
I thought it was
need it.
It was really interesting. Disney did not promote this episode on the front page of the Disney Plus app. I had to go
right. It was Mighty
into
Ducks.
Marvel.
Right.
And I scrolled through the entire top screen. There was no Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I think it was because of the end scene.
Well, that might just be because it's very confusing, because I do believe that in the latest episode of Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez just bludgeons one of the bossy hockey parents with an ice skate.
And he calls her a C word, which is really shocking. It's a very bizarre turn.
Yeah, nobody saw that.
Through Lauren Graham.
What was that, Jeff?
I said I was actually believing you for a quick second. I was like, "Oh, I need to watch this," and then like Eric said, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, see, Eric, you John Walkered it. You took it a little too far.
Shit, I hydroxed that Oreo. I'm so sorry.
I wanted to bring in a comment that I don't actually agree with.
I don't either.
Egan saying Carly threatening Sam's family was a bit of a hard sell to me too. To that part, I'll say that I believe her that it was just to scare him and to get his attention. I don't think she had any plans to do that. I do think those plans could change in episode 6, by the way, but we'll get there. But how was she able to get a phone number for Sarah and know the names of Sam's nephews? I don't think it's that hard with anybody who has any kind of, especially with like whatever the
jet.
Yeah, the catch-all term in media of like, oh, well, they're a computer hacker. Well, great. You can get anything. But, I mean, to find out the name of one of the Avengers family, I mean, it's probably on Wikipedia or, if you just Google Sam Wilson. So knowing the names, I don't think is that hard. And getting the phone number, I mean, the right person at the phone company, you can get a celebrity's phone number. So I'm told, so I think that it's not that hard to believe. And I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I didn't think that Carly intentionally, intentionally was trying to scare Sarah so that she would pass that along to Sam and he'd understand. But I don't think she had any plans to actually hurt Sam's sister. Michael, you're shaking your head, so I think you agree with me. Yeah. Jeff, what do you think?
No, I agree with you as well. And like before that conversation, Sam tells Carly that he has a sister that's kind of going through the same thing. So honestly, it could have been her calling, one, to threaten, but also to verify to see if Sam's a good guy. Just to make sure, I was like, oh, let me do some research on him because she needs to know who Sam is, so it's easy to find out about the family. And then when she calls, it's more or less of a little bit of both. Are you who you say you are? And I'm going to lightly threaten you and your kids.
Yeah. And Michael B points out they had a hacker on the team. Yeah, because people that don't know, and look, I don't pretend that I know that much about it. There's always the computer hacker whose skill set is never, they're just type a lot, and
the graphics on their computer are always unnecessarily fancy.
Yeah.
Like when you're a hacker, it tends not to be good graphics. It tends to really look like war games. Like just a lot of code, nothing fancy at all.
Yeah, and usually if somebody's able to unencrypt something or come up with a password, it probably is instantaneous. But it's more interesting in in any kind of narrative to have like the screen and like, oh my God, we just need that last digit. What could it possibly be? And
waiting for that like 1% to download so you can quickly get out of the room.
There's whole seasons of 24, which somebody mentioned in passing, that are that something downloading at 99%. Like entire hours of that show, because it happens in real time, are spent with just watching the 99% like teeter on the 100%.
I had one real stupid question, which is like, okay, Sam is overseas. Basically, his sister's at risk. He says, "Get the kids, get out of there." Why didn't he pick up the phone and call, I don't know, anyone else? A second,
Scott Lang.
I need to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought up that because it's another thing. He literally told one of the refugees. He said, "Don't worry, I can call somebody." I paused it and I said, "Who are you going to call?" You couldn't even get a loan. That just pissed me off. Like he couldn't even get his sister alone. Who in the world is he going to call to help a refugee in a different country? Like it just slips and then it kind of just went into right. Like it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, from a story standpoint, there's probably a lot of people in his cell phone that could help hide his sister. I mean, I would just call Stephen Strange. That's the easiest one, But in terms of who are they going to pay to appear on this show, there's not a lot of people.
You call Wong. You don't call.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You call TV affordable Wong.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to be the surprise guest that we're expecting in this next episode that they said can like be teamed up with Thor. Have you guys heard about that? There's
not heard about that.
There's supposed to be a cameo in the 5th episode who's like a new character who is a grounded character that they would love to see team up with someone unworldly. So they said Thor in the comment or whatever. But I need to look more into that. I can't remember if it was a showrunner or something, but it was an interview about the show, and there's supposed to be a cameo coming in this next episode.
The only person I want to see, the only being I want to see teamed up with Thor is Beta Ray Bill, and I don't think that this is the show where it makes sense. AKA Horse Thor, in case people are wondering who Beta Ray Bill is. I don't know. I think that that was actually some good, the Sam Carly stuff. I think actually there were some great interactions. There were a couple of them throughout the course of the episode, and both times ruined by John Walker. It's like he could have gotten somewhere. He might have even been able to, I don't know, get her to just calm down for a little bit to see what they can try and work out. And instead it's, this guy does like Hulk smash more than Hulk actually does, So, I'm looking forward to Baron Zemo putting a bullet in his head, but I'm still the only one here on this show that thinks we're going to get that, except for whoever said that in the chat, though. Oh no, this is going to upset you, Michael. He could have called Terrence Howard, is who Sam could have called. And Michael B says, low, Craig, real low, LOL. Yeah, he could have called. He could definitely, but he definitely could have called Rhodey, though. You're absolutely right. Rhodey's already been on the show. I expect that we'll see him again. So
you could have called a local friend. It doesn't even have to be a freaking Avenger.
Like, if you can call Don Cheadle, aka Sammy Davis Jr. from the Rat Pack TV movie, if you can call Sammy Davis Jr. and get the Candyman, you might as well. I wanted to go back and we talked a little bit about. I'm not quite sure why Michael is showing up here a second time. Did something happen to your earlier stream, Michael?
Whoa, hold on. Which one's the real one?
Yeah.
I'm getting some WandaVision vibes. I don't know what's going on.
I'm having problems, you guys.
I like the one who's a little more still.
Yeah, the one that's buffering. Yeah, he's not actually
the loading screen.
99%.
Yeah, 99%. Let's go back to the flashback we had of Bucky. You know, where apparently you can say the Winter Soldier activation words in another language. And Michael, that's what you've been waiting for this whole series, and we got it already. I mean, look, if he speaks the language, I don't see why it wouldn't work.
She speaks English too.
Well, that's true. That's a great point.
I was just like, what is this? I don't think it's going to work either.
Yeah, well, but I thought it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting character stuff. You know, I mean, we've gotten some good like Bucky flashback stuff throughout the course of the series. What did you think of our previously in Wakanda segment of the show, Eric?
Any excuse to go back there, I'm fine with. Was it necessary? Not terribly. Did it add anything new? No. Was it a nice moment? And also, but it was also an important moment, character relationship wise, which is why I am glad it was there. You know, because you realize like the two of them actually have a bond, and so it goes beyond just like a sense of responsibility or duty, but also like they're friends. He speaks their language, you know, and I thought that helped. You know, I mean, you actually got the sense like she's really hurt by him, which I thought was kind of cool, and it made those moments a bit more human. So on that end, like, I don't know if it's necessary, but it definitely, I thought, added a layer of character, a relationship that helped explain why things took a real turn between them later.
I was impressed she gave him 8 hours. You know, I think it would have been like, you got 8 minutes to get your affairs in order. And of course, you know, Zemo doesn't miss the opportunity to like, oh yeah, I could get away for real right now. So,
and the cut of him, by the way, when they're all fighting and he's like drinking or eating, and he's just like, I thought was the best cut of the whole series.
It's the Baby Yoda drinking soup during the fight sequence moment. All Disney Plus series need to have a cutaway of a character drinking a warm beverage. No, there were a few like. There was a lot of tea related jokes, you know, just sort of like
cherry blossom tea,
exactly. What did you think of the flashback, Jeff? We talked a little bit about Wakanda and getting to see everybody in the present day part of the timeline, but what did you think of the flashback?
Visually, I got very excited when we started off, like going into Wakanda, and then like when I saw the set of where they were, I was kind of confused. I just like felt, I was like, why couldn't you just like pick any backdrop that we've somewhat seen in Black Panther, Infinity War, or something that looks familiar? Because it looked like just some woods that could have been in America to me, but that's just me being picky. Like for the visual part of it, I think it was more of, we're gonna let fans that don't know every part of his backstory a quick way to see it, because while they were given the names, you started to see him killing Tony Stark's parents. You started him seeing the surgeries and everything, how he got to where he is. So like for us, it was kind of cool. It was quick, but like for other people that didn't know, it probably was informational. So like it could have been good for them. As a whole, I kind of lean more with Eric. It was like, it was good to build their relationship, as in Io and Winter Soldier. That's what I liked it for.
And Ghost 8386 makes this point. How ironic and messed up that a fan of Captain America gets killed by Captain America. Yeah, that's definitely one of those, you've already written the story and the writer's room is together and like, you know what, we gotta make this guy grow up a big Captain America
Never meet
fan.
your heroes, they say. Never meet your heroes.
That's true.
Or the knockoff version of them.
Or the off-brand version of your heroes, more importantly.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's he's definitely the Zune to Steve Rogers' iPod for sure, and it treats you about as well. I mean, I think I'm fascinated to see where we go from here. I mean, I have my expectation for I see that there's not a lot of different ways that this can go. I'm willing to concede that John Walker may not end up dead, but it's just sort of, I'm really invested in it now that I'm the only one who thinks it's going to happen. But where do you think we have to go over these final 2 episodes, Michael?
I don't really know. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like these episodes I'm not really necessarily I'm expecting certain things, but I never really know where we're going to go.
But get ready to be infuriated, Michael. John Walker looks better than the actor who played Captain America in the 1990 version, Matt Stone.
Not quite, but I appreciate the fact that you've seen it.
Michael, you okay? I
I
expected you to come through the screen on that one.
Yeah, I know.
I appreciate that he's seen the movie. Not many people have.
That's true.
I think all this Wakanda stuff is just. I think they put that scene in this episode to show that that's where Bucky's best, and I think that he's going to end up back in Wakanda. I don't think John Walker's gonna die. I think he's gonna go on like the run. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be really annoyed, but
well, we lost you for a second there. What?
I'm sorry.
What would really annoy you? That was the only part we missed.
If Sharon Carter's the power broker.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost positive she's the power broker. What do we think about this from Michael B? I can see John Walker and Baron Zemo starting the Masters of Evil, which is an organization that was featured in the comics. This will be a good team to go up against the new Avengers. Someone who I think will definitely make it out of this series is Baron Zemo. And when this series ends, he will not be back in jail. So I think it'll be great to see what they do with him. But that aside, Jeff, what do you expect to see and what do you hope to see over the final 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I kind of expect us to get out of Madripoor decently quick because we still need to see the repercussions of America picking this Captain America and him being a murderer. Like, we need to see, what does the world think? What does America think? How does the government handle that? That's a lot of the real world repercussions that we're used to Marvel handling. So, like, we still got to get to that point, and we only have 2 episodes left. And I really don't, like, I'm kind of what Michael said. I don't know what to expect because a U.S. agent is not a big enough, to me, he's not a big enough villain for us to say.
He's not a villain, though, in my head.
But
like an anti-hero.
So who's the big bad in this series? Then you know what I'm saying? Like, I still don't know where we're going because we don't know who the big bad is. Is it the power broker? Is it U.S. agent? Is it Zemo? And that's why I'm like kind of confused. And I kind of wish they put a lot of pressure and a lot of storyline on the U.S. agent. And I'm like, okay, is he the big bad? Like, what is going on? So I'm kind of confused on where they're going. But before someone put this in like the 4 questions that I had, I made a video about this episode, and they said that like they might have been a tease for Dr. Doom. I don't think it's gonna be in this series at all. But when U.S. agent found Bucky and Sam, they said, "How did you guys know where we were?" He said, "You think 2 Avengers can walk around? It's Latvia? I can't pronounce."
Did they say Latvia? Latveria.
Yeah, Latveria.
Right.
He said two Avengers can't walk around Latveria without people noticing. and that's like obviously people know Dr. Doom is out there, so it's like that could have been a tease for that. And someone that wasn't me that found that; it was someone in my comments. So I was like, I definitely want to bring that up at least.
This is what happens when I do watch it, because for all the talk that I said that I wouldn't be watching the show at midnight when it premiered, I keep having things come up on Friday where I need to stay up and watch it. So I didn't catch that. If they said Latveria in this episode, we've gotten 2 like huge locations that could not have been part of the MCU even 5 years ago. We've got Madripoor, which is they were in Latvia, says Daniel Drew. It's close in name, I guess. All right, so that poked a hole in that theory, but so that's but I don't know. I think that that would have been cool. But Eric, I wanted to get your thoughts on where you think the show is going to go and any hopes that you have for these final 2 episodes.
Well, I think Dr. Doom has a timeshare in Latvia, so I think it's still in the realm of possibilities that he'll show up.
He lists it on Flipkey, so you can actually stay in the same timeshare that Victor Von Doom has. Yeah,
Chateau
he's
Von
very
Doom.
frugal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's going to waste. Like you might as well. Yeah.
Well, as far as the last couple episodes, here's an issue I'm having with the power broker and who's the power broker. I'm finding I don't care.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't I care? And it's not because I'm a cold-hearted human covered with beard, but rather I think it's because we don't really see this. We don't have a good sense of what the power broker is actually doing. That's what I'm realizing. We watch this early on, maybe, but the Flag Smasher has driven so much of the whole organization has driven so much of the narrative. So they're like, but who's the power broker? It's like, well, but we haven't really seen the power broker's power, and
I think it's just being a good broker.
Yeah, right. That's true. A broker is supposed to be somewhat invisible in it all, sort of like a good editor. I think part of you remember, I don't know if you guys suffered through the Daredevil with Ben Affleck, but Kingpin in that.
Suffered. I own the director's cut.
I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
the first
another time.
But I will say the first half hour is actually pretty good. It's like spot on for what you wanted, and then
then the next hour and a half happened.
It's way better than Elektra. Like
I didn't even go there.
I'll tell you how bad Elektra is. I haven't even seen it.
So bad.
I haven't even watched it. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I've seen it 25 times, and I've yet to see Elektra. So, yeah, I've not seen Elektra, and I never will.
Hi, Elektra.
Oh, hi. You're telling me apart, Elektra. But the problem was like Kingpin in Daredevil. Kingpin's a great comic book villain. And in Daredevil, he just kind of hung around and laughed a lot, like maniacally. Got no sense of him. Carly's an interesting villain. The Flag Smashers, they're a really unique kind of antagonist because we don't entirely disagree with them. That's what makes them interesting. Flag Smasher, I don't know what the F he or she is up to. Yeah. And we haven't really gotten a sense of their power. So as a result, when we reveal who they are, it's kind of like, well, okay, so now what? It doesn't change our understanding or appreciation of the previous 4 episodes. So that part of me wishes they just sort of say, oh, Flag Smash, Power Broker is just so-and-so. I'm like, oh, okay. And they move on because I think the Flag Smasher stuff is much more interesting. And also, what do they have up their sleeve? They've lost the serum. So that's something they're going to really have to... They've put themselves in a bit of a tricky position. It's kind of maybe in some ways painted in a corner, in a pickle.
Yeah. A couple of thoughts from the chat. Ghost8386 at Craig. Power Broker was Curtis Jackson in the comics. Wait a minute. The Power Broker was 50 Cent? How did I not know that? I'm glad that everybody knew the joke I was like tackling over that comment just to make. Michael B., if they're planning to do a season 2, I can see them showing the Power Broker at the end and feature him or her in season 2. Evidently the bar where they. This is a great point to talk back about Madripoor. I'm glad you mentioned this, Daniel Drew. Our friend of this show, longtime X-Men writer Chris Claremont, wrote about this when he was watching episode 3 on Instagram. And shameless plug for him. If you follow him at Chris Clearmountain on Instagram, you get a lot of insight into stuff he's working on and just his thoughts in general. But he was very excited to see the location of Madripoor, but they do go by the Princess Bar, which is the bar that Logan in the guise of Patch has in the monthly ongoing Wolverine regular series from 1987 onward, obviously. But so that there were cool Easter eggs and stuff like that. And Jeff, I was really excited about the Latveria thing. And I think it was Daniel. Yeah, Daniel immediately poured ice cold water on it. So
I'm going back and checking it out.
Hot cherry blossom tea.
What about this though? Ghost. I'm
Phil.
hoping Zemo doesn't kill Isaiah Bradley next episode.
Oh.
I didn't even see that coming, but now I'm worried about Isaiah Bradley. I think Isaiah Bradley, he seems like he's still pretty tough, but I think Zemo could probably get the drop on him and surprise him. I really hope that. I think there's only one. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
I was about to say, I bet you if that is what he's going to try to do, Eli has already taken the drugs to stop that. Then the mutant drugs that he takes to get powers. I think I can't see him actually killing Isaiah when we just get introduced to this character.
Yeah, no, I think that character is going to be more important somewhere down the road. But I still think there's only one person with super serum running through their blood that Baron Zemo is going to kill, and it's not Steve Rogers. But we will see next week when we get to the penultimate episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll be here at the same day and time, Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. So join us then.
4 p.m. Central.
That's right. And you know what? 3 p.m. Mountain. Let's not leave Denver out of it. We want people to be able to find the show everywhere. But until next week, John Walker looks better in Captain America suit. Well, see, somebody already said this.
Yeah, y'all are just trying to piss me off.
Yeah. Kemi Egan, did you notice Anthony Mackie finally got top billing in the credits? But one of you guys pointed out that they alternate back and forth. So sometimes Sebastian Stan gets it. So, and then maybe Emily Van Camp will get it. She's revealed as the Power Brother. Until next week, though, Jeff, where can people find you?
At Jeff Will Jr. on all your social media platforms. And then on TikTok, I'll be talking more about the show, breaking down all the different heroes and theories and some that's real, some that's wrong. Let me know.
Yeah, and he'll also be selling extra Disneyland tickets out of a truck on Hollywood Boulevard. So look for Jeff there. Eric,
they were selling candy to kids like Zemo in the show.
He was just giving it away. Turkish delights. Yeah, it's who knew that Turkish delight was Turkish delight is delicious, by the way, but I didn't know it was going to be such a major plot point. Eric, where can people find you?
Well, I am over at Count Eric Connor on Instagram and Twitter because I know all you love the Twitter and Facebook. You could try my middle name, Adam, and you probably would find me. My documentary, Other Voices, Aswata Harim, is over on darkroom.film. And then also, of course, our next episode, I think, Christian, the fact that you left out, it's on at midnight Saturday Latvian time, I think is very important.
Yeah.
I don't want the Latvian audience to feel like we've besmirched their good names here. So
yeah,
all Latvians welcome.
Yeah. Michael did not like my idea that I had. You remember I texted you, Michael, that I thought that we should do an episode of this show at, let's see, it's 1 a.m. Pacific, 3 a.m. Central, right after we finish watching it. But Michael feels like that's a dangerous time of the evening for him to be broadcasting.
No, you said that you wanted us to do it while drinking.
Well, I mean, if I'm up at 1 a.m., it's because I'm drinking, obviously.
Please and yes.
That terrifies me and my professional career.
Yep. See, but that's you being smarter than me.
Well,
that's all.
Flag Smasher masks and slightly change our names. So they won't know it's us.
That's a great point.
You won't be able to see right here. Or
yeah.
Calling in names.
All of our on-screen names will basically just say redacted. Yeah, Flag Smasher. So since people won't be able to find you 3 a.m. next Friday Central Time, where can they keep in touch with you, Michael?
You can find me at I Hate Michael Shirley on Instagram and at Michael X Shirley on Twitter. We got like my synchronized swimming team.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ, and please subscribe to the Blackcast YouTube channel. You'll get this show Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Pacific. We are doing our political show, Biden Time, and the good old Blackcast is just around. New episodes and interviews always popping up throughout the week. Next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I will be talking to a gentleman who wrote a book on the pains of being a Mets fan. So, Eric, I'll send you a link so that you can you can commiserate with that. Because
the only team that their own players and announcers complain about their win.
Well, I mean, it's
leaned into a pitch. So
even when you win, you lose.
It was incredible. It was so Mets. It was the Mets in 5 seconds or less.
Except the fact that they actually won. But anyway, so you can find all that stuff. Blackcast, BLADTCAST, like the Blackcast on Facebook, and of course, Blackcast on Twitter. That is all the time we have for this week. So we will see you next week. But until then, as the great Stan Lee would say,